It's time for the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Martin is a national championship fullback from the 1992 Alabama Crimson Tide. Known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks now, he's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations where the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff, so buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier is live. Roll Tide, roll!
We're going to play to a certain standard for the guys in here, for each other, for the guys in this room right now. We know who we're playing. We know what the stakes are. It's real simple.
Williams-Brice Stadium, Alabama at South Carolina.
4 quarters, I need you guys to think about the discipline it's going to take. All right, the discipline, the toughness. I want maturity, I need toughness, I want extreme violence.
I'm making sure you understand that. They stepping in the door and they saying, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit you in your mouth. That's what they saying.
It doesn't matter who we're playing, what we're doing, it just becomes about you being the best version of yourself. Make sure, right, that there is a physicality that cannot be matched. Good morning, DC, what's up?
Good morning, Martin. It's great to be here this morning. How about you?
Absolutely glad to be here. This is the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care, and we are live, local, and open for business. Remember, it's the sound of Bama sports, your show, your team, which means that the Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions hotline is open for business. 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That's the Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions hotline. And as you heard in the intro, the maniacs join us on facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. That's where you can get in on it. And we invite that crew in, Tim Richardson and Curtis Moore II. DC, the maniacs are like having a whole set of guest hosts, co-hosts every day. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to work that in. Some of these guys are going to get an opportunity to be live with us on the air, not just in chat. But also, good morning, Curtis Moore II, Samuel Pittner, Mr. Risa Pittner, Chapman family, and others will be jumping in there. We welcome those guys in. And once again, Jacob Howell, he's loving life, DC. He's from South Carolina. And he had to listen all season of what they were going to do. Well, whole lot of fans in the stadiums and a whole lot of folks walking around up in Columbia right now thought they were going to get the rush to field. Not so fast. So remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. All right, DC, lots to get to. Got audio here that we can work into the conversation. We're gonna do good, bad, and ugly. Last week I talked about DeBoer having his statement, and it's about those critical moments. And without a doubt, he had to say that after the game, the critical moments. So we'll get all of that type of audio and different things as we go through. Without getting directly into your good, bad, and ugly, what's your overall take from this Alabama football team in their big win Saturday?
Well, I think it comes back down to the culture that they built there, that they didn't give up. I think that game played last year, we'd have lost that game. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Uh,
The way the game was played.
I would say not only would we have lost it, DC, but they would have scored. We would have lost by 2 scores. Once we fell down, I'm saying that we probably would have given up another touchdown.
I agree, and I think this defense is something that there's so many people around. I think fans that just complain about our defense in different areas, but this defense shows a lot of resiliency, a lot of toughness to keep them out of the end zone, and I kind of like that. I like that philosophy that they have of make them snap it one more time, and they don't give up on that. And by doing that, they were able to keep them out of the end zone a couple of times and force them to field goals or force them to punt, and when they needed the ball back or rip the ball back and a turnover. All those type of things happen when you make them snap it one more time. So I kind of like that philosophy of it. But I think overall the word I'm looking for is resiliency. I think that this team didn't give up. Strong enough to draw on the core values and the culture that they built. And as I heard Coach DeBoer say yesterday, he didn't have to say anything at halftime. Pretty much, he had his own 1 or 2 points, but the team leaders, the captains, seemed to take the voice of the team and know what they needed to do. And that's a mark of a strong culture in a team to be able to do that. Now, I was proud of the victory, but proud of the way that they fought back and didn't give up.
Yeah, it's interesting, DC, and I want to talk about the defense a little later in the program. I mean, in just a moment, because that's going to be part of the good conversation, I think. But before I do that, and I think I think Ty has been so good that we have missed how good the defense is. Well, the defense has been playing, and how that is actually allowing Ty to play the way he's playing. And I'll explain in a moment. But before we get into that, I was so excited when we got rid of the Turtle and Gary Danielson, Vern Lundquist, and when Vern left, I was happy. And then when I forget his name that came in and took Vern's place, I was like, okay, hopefully it'll be better. And then I don't even remember his name. The play-by-play guy that's with Danielson. I thought that they were bad. Jesse Palmer, he can't hide his disdain for Alabama. I mean, DC, when he was sitting there talking about that we should have fell down, took a knee, whatever, and attempted a field goal instead of going up by 7, I was like, no, you haven't seen our kicker. But
He doesn't know the history of Alabama kickers. We're not definitely not going to do that. I mean, I agree with you. You said not to get into it. My ugly part of this whole game was the announcing. They got a whole series out there called Awful Announcing. Got their own their own website or what they kind of. I'm not sure why Jesse Palmer is not the poster child for awful announcing. He just didn't. He didn't seem to be into the game or know what was going on at most parts, and showed his bias toward Alabama in multiple times.
And how many times they don't comment on things, or like they'll just go in on certain things, and it's like, but the replay shows something different. So stop fighting for what you thought you saw and call what happened. It's just interesting. I didn't know if it was just me, but I didn't feel like he was as bad of an announcer, because I've heard him call a lot of games. That's why I say it's Bama hate, because to me it's hurt him professionally in some of the things he'll just go in on and won't come off of it. DC, that's the bad part. It's like, How did they not ever mention, not one time did they mention that our player was blocked into the ball?
Yeah, never. Not one time.
One
It didn't
time.
make sense.
And then to feed the whole Bama and the SEC is bought, they never once acknowledged that the coach on South Carolina's side told the guy to let him score. I have seen more idiotic responses about Alabama being given a pass, that college football wants Alabama to be in the playoffs. Now, isn't it interesting? For 17 years, they wanted Alabama out, and now all of a sudden they want Alabama in?
Yeah.
But they never once mentioned the strategy that was employed. If they get the first down, let them score.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the whole narrative. It seems like they didn't even talk about that. That hey, not only is he not want him to go down, they want him to score. They want him to score so they can have more time to get the ball back and try to score themselves. Now, I don't like that philosophy. I think the coach made a bad call there, but that's exactly what the South Carolina coaches told them during the timeout, and the players and the coaches both admitted that in the press conferences afterwards. But no one on the announcing squad ever mentioned that at all.
Not one time. So it's just funny how to do that. QD says Tess and Palmer been bad. Well, I'm not saying.
Well, I think they relished in the Alabama loss to Florida State. They loved it, and now Alabama's play doesn't fit that narrative anymore, and they're having to eat crow, and they don't know what to do.
so I, like I said, I don't know if they've been bad before this year, but man, it's sometimes tough to watch, listen to when they get going. So, but hey, listen, you're listening to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. X is out again. He's going to be out a couple more days this week, but hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully he'll be with us a couple days this week. But DC is in with us. You're in with us. We're live, local, and taking your calls, your comments, and your reactions, working them into the conversation. We have a couple people already on the Empowerment, Leadership, and People Solutions hotline that we're going to get to coming out of the break. And as we go to break, I want to invite you to join our roster of great sponsors like Dixie Battery Supply. Dixie Battery Supply, they buy junk batteries. They're locally owned and operated. Never feel powerless again. DixieBatterySupply.com. You can find them physically located in Tuscaloosa, Northport, and Bessemer. That's Dixie Battery Supply. Never feel powerless again.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on your happy Tuesday. We're getting off to a nice and quiet start thus far. Looking at 2059, it is all peachy in between McFarland and Joe Malisham. Even inside that construction zone you have right around Joe Malisham, all as well. And speaking of Lurleen Wallace looking really good. It is wide open in between 15th and McFarland. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The slow-roasted Cantina chicken menu is here to stay, with ingredients like purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. Try it today at a participating U.S. Taco Bell location while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
I'm attorney Stephen Mizrano. Did you know that insurance companies will only offer you pennies on the dollar for your injury? When you're in a wreck, you need an attorney who knows the law and will fight for you. I don't back down from the insurance companies. You need to hire a proven attorney who will win. My firm will fight to make sure you get the compensation you deserve. Call 800-8000 or visit mezwins.com. I've got this.
No representations made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. Get your football weekend started early with Fridays at the Free. I'm Gary Harris, and I'll broadcast my show live from Innisfree Irish Pub every Alabama game weekend from 9 to 11 a.m. on Friday mornings. So we'll get the jump on everybody else, and you'll be ready to start the weekend as soon as Innisfree opens at 11 a.m. With 2 bars, TVs everywhere, and outdoor seating as well, there's only one Innisfree Irish Pub. Often imitated but never duplicated. Fridays at the Free with me, Gary Harris, this fall at Innisfree Irish Pub, 1925 University Boulevard in Tuscaloosa.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today. Email them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com or call 205-242-5127.
Chow's Country Buffet in Tuscaloosa, where country favorites meet an Asian twist. Enjoy all-you-can-eat whole fried catfish, pot roast, fried chicken, and more served all day, plus crab claws every night for dinner. From seafood to country classics to Chinese favorites, you'll leave full and satisfied every time, all for one simple price. Want it to go? They've got takeout too. Call 205-399-2024 or visit Chow's Country Buffet in Tuscaloosa, because filling your stomach shouldn't empty your wallet.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky mostly cloudy today, just a small chance of a shower, the high 64. Cloudy tonight with rain moving in, the low 55. Tomorrow, a good chance of rain, especially during the morning hours. Otherwise, cloudy and cool, the high 58. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 56 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. We're powered by Box Eye Care. Glad to have you up and at 'em with us on this beautiful morning. DC is this has been one of the craziest runs I've ever seen. And when you go to an unranked team, it's a team that has it out for you. They've been planning for you all year, and this team was able to win it. Let's hear what Coach had to say about how they were able to stay focused and get this done.
The investment of time that we put in, talking about the big plays, and a mindset that you just got to keep swinging. You got to line up defensively and play another play. You got to forget about the last one they scored on the possession before. And it was a shorter field, but going back out there and the next play is a whole different set of circumstances. And again, the critical moments and practicing the 2-minute drills and practicing, the third down plays and the fourth down ones, they aren't always going to work, but you play with confidence. When you play with confidence, you give yourself a chance.
And you use the word resilience. I'll use the word confidence. DC, this is a very confident bunch.
No doubt about that, especially on the defensive side of the ball. It seems like they got that confidence that they can stop the other team, and even when they give up a touchdown, they don't let that hurt them. They come right back and have that philosophy to make them snap it one more time. And I think that was big in this game defensively.
Yeah, in DC, we talked about the defense. I think we've sold this defense short a little bit.
Yeah.
I think what 24 is? Didn't Georgia get 24?
Yes, I think so.
And that's the most points they gave up in this 5-game stretch.
Yeah.
And some of that was our offense put them in situations. They really would have a lower average than that. But one of the things I want to point out, my good is how good the defense is playing, but how that's manifesting and how aggressive we're able to be on offense.
Most definitely, it helps our offense. It helps our offense. Our defense helps our offense be able to be more aggressive.
Oh, absolutely. We do things on third down that if we didn't trust our defense, we wouldn't do. We've gone for it on fourth down. If we didn't trust our defense, we wouldn't do it. And so it's made our offense and tie even better. QD said something about the O-line and run game I want to come back to, but let's get a couple callers. Chuck, you've been patient. You're in on the Empowerment, Leadership, and People Solutions Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
All right. Good morning, you three. Yeah, it was just great just chiming in what you all talking about, and I've been listening to what you were saying and what you said, the magic word buy-in. And also, man, give you some humor here. I think the travel agency businesses are doing quite well around this time with these huge buyouts due to coaching terminations. And you know what? You all don't have to worry about that at this time. Think about where you were earlier and that school that beat you all. Now they've gone in the opposite direction, as I've been saying many times, Brother Houston and Chase. And DC, I told them the same thing. And the thing about it, we've seen what the termination that happened here in my state of Louisiana. And you know what? You all don't have to worry about it. Looking at where the direction that you all are going, and it seems like that's what's going on now with you all, the buy-in to what Coach Kalen DeBoer is doing. And I was just looking at a lot of teams, a situation that you all were in this past Saturday against the University of South Carolina. Many teams would have wilted and being in situations like that, but it shows the kind of players that he has there. But that's going to be my landing gear.
Yeah, the sad part for what you said, if we lose that game, the Alabama folks saying the same thing that Penn State is saying, the same thing that DC, it's crazy right now.
Have you done for me lately?
LSU, here's what nobody's talking about, DC. LSU and Penn State, they think they had an off year. They just came up with $100 million plus to pay off coaches not to coach, right? But you know what they were telling the players? You know what they were telling the players? That they couldn't raise enough money to pay them more in NIL.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's another discussion.
Do you know that if I'm on Penn State and I was one of those guys that was told, well, we just can't, the alumni won't give money. That we can't get the money raised. Even though it may not be better, they may have both blown up their programs for several years.
Most definitely. Who's going to believe they don't have enough money now going forward? They're not going to get the players in the portal, or they're not going to get the players to stay. And so, yeah, the loyalty there is kind of misplaced when you talk about fans and what they believe is valuable.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thank you. Yeah, you're right. You're right. If we had a moving business, man, we'd be in business today.
Oh yes, you sure will be. You make a killing. You all take care.
Take care. Yeah, it's right now. Somebody says 129. I'm thinking it's more than that if you add up all of the programs out there, because you have UCLA, you have Oklahoma State, you have I think Colorado State, and that's the low end schools. But then just between the SEC, you have like 60, 70 million just on their two schools. So it's only going to get worse, DC, which is absolutely crazy. Go ahead.
I mean, crazy time of coach. You're talking about a coaching carousel. It'd be like a coaching roller coaster. I mean, up and down everywhere. It's just crazy.
Here's what they're not anticipating, DC, and I know this is a sidebar, but Sark has let it out. I don't know if you heard this or not. Sark let it out through some of his people, and it got back out to Texas and to other places that he wants to go to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's not put Texas in the mix at all. You just take how much is Penn State, Florida, and LSU going to have to pay their coaches, because Jimmy Sexton kind of has all of these guys. So Lane Kiffin is interested in Penn State. He's interested in LSU. He's interested in Florida. And if you're Auburn, you're going to be like, do we keep this guy for another year? If they throw their ring in the hat, their hat in the ring, and then the bidding war to get your next coach is going to go through the roof. Woo! So it's going to get crazy. And MHS 0407 said, talking about the moving trucks, call Allen. Allen got out of the business at the wrong time, DC. But
He did. He did.
Yeah, well, maybe he kept a couple trucks. I think there's going to be plenty of work to go around, because I don't think it's finished.
That's right.
I think Arkansas bought Hugh Freeze one more week. If he flew around and down, turn around and lose to Kentucky, he might be out as well. Todd, you're in on the Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning, guys. DC stole my thunder there for a second there, man. I was going to call in about that Bernard touchdown where the defender put his brakes on, let him go, and turn around.
Go ahead. You can have a different perspective. Go ahead. That's what we're here for.
Then the defender turned around and celebrated our touchdown. I'm like, wow. I mean, if I'm Beamer, I'm pinning my defense's ears back, because they played good the whole game, and trying to put it in the hands of Alabama's kicker, because like DC said, they must not know the history of our kicking, and I guarantee it, every fan in Alabama was saying, score. Please don't have to kick.
I know this
fan. To the kicker, guys.
Todd, you're going to love this, Todd. I am so glad. I'll throw myself under the bus quite often when it comes to like comments. I always have a couple of different text streams going, and one of them is with DC during the game. Right before it comes out, I said, man, he better not come out here he better come out here, he better put that ball in Ty's hands. Oh no, he got Jeremy in. Okay, that's it. And then I replied back to DC. I said, well, that's why I'm sitting here in my chair.
Me too. Me too. I tell you what, my good is, guys, is the coaches' trust in this football team on both sides of the football to go for it on fourth down on our own side of the field, and do some things that are so uncharacteristic for the history of the past history of the team. It's a pleasant, thing to watch, a stressful thing to watch, and then the next thing would be the bag of plays that Grubb has is just unbelievable. He just keeps popping out a different play that you haven't seen yet. Can you imagine their practice, guys, to get ready for his playbook?
Yeah, it speaks to the players' commitment to be the best. It speaks to their focus and their discipline. So, but
it also speaks to the way they're coaching right now. Jeremy Bernard was quoted yesterday as saying, when he was asked about the trick plays, and he said, well, the plays I was involved in, he said that touchdown pass to me was not a trick play, but he said that play we just put in this week because of something Coach Grubb had seen on film. He said, now that trick play on the 2-point conversion, he said, we've been running that since before fall camp. He said, we knew it. So we've never called in the game, but when he called it, we were so confident that we run it so many times. We run it every practice.
Actually, DC, they've ran it since they've been here. DeBoer,
when it was called, it was just.
He said that's been in his playbook for 5 years or longer, and they practice it all the time. So, hey, thanks, Todd. And the craziness, DC, that adds to that is they're not just getting one. They're not just getting the first guys ready. They have a rotation of second string guys that are just as equipped to play as everybody else. So it's pretty amazing how much they're getting done in the allotted practice time. So kudos to this coaching staff. And DC, we got the phone lines filled up on the other side. So we're going to go ahead and get the break, come out and get those guys coming back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on your happy Tuesday. We're getting off to a nice and quiet start thus far. Looking at 2059, it is all peachy in between McFarland and Joe Malisham. Even inside that construction zone you have right around Joe Malisham, all as well. And speaking of Lurleen Wallace looking really good. It is wide open in between 15th and McFarland. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
The Tide Tailgate Show is presented by Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi. Online at pearlriverresort.com. And by Tuscaloosa Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Online at TuscaloosaCDJR.com. And by Two Dimes. Online at twodimes.club. And by Druid City Regional Medical Center. DCHsystem.com.
Hey, this is Wyatt Fulton from Tide 100.9. Since moving to Tuscaloosa in 2022, I've been embraced by the community, and we want to help do the same for you and your business. I'm passionate about the Tide listeners, and I know that they will support advertisers whose products and services we endorse. At Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, we can help create customized radio and digital marketing plans to help grow your business. Hit me up at wyatt.fulton@townsquaremedia.com, and I can tell you more, and let's help your business score big.
The Home Depot has everything you need to turn your home into a beacon of holiday cheer. So whether you're going all out or just adding a few holiday touches, we've got you covered with trees, yard decor, and more. Save time decorating with one of our easy-to-assemble pre-lit trees or pick up a piece from our Yuletide Lane decor collection and fill your yard with holiday joy. Whatever your style, find everything to get your holidays started at the Home Depot.
Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. If you're looking for a great option for lunch and or dinner, then you need to check out Taco Casa. Taco Casa, and while you're there, don't forget to get a big glass of that sweet tea. Visit them online at tacocasa.com. That's tacocasa.com. Quality, taste, and value on the biggest cactus in town. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com.
Your friends may drive a new car for under $35,000, but is it a Mercedes-Benz? Level up to luxury at Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa. Drive a 2025 GLA 250 without the luxury price, just $33,988 for as low as $479 a month. A Mercedes-Benz is within your reach. A GLA for just $33,988. Get to Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa before your friends do. On select models with approved credit while supplies last. Stock number L2395. Taxes and fees extra. See dealer for details.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Joe and Martin and Xavier. We're live, local, ready to get things rolling. We got DC Capstone Report on with us. Have lots of calls on the hotline and Pop Leadership People Solutions hotline. Have lots of comments coming from the Maniacs. 1 hour sometimes just isn't enough, but QD brought up this, DC. I want to respond to it before we get to the phone lines. He said, I've just accepted realization after 8 games that Bama's O-line is what it is. It's an average to good O-line, and the same with the running game. And then he says, I'm very concerned with the Oklahoma and Auburn defensive lines. Your thoughts? Is DC there? Hello? Hello? All right.
Martin, can you hear me?
I can now.
All right, there we go. Yeah, I heard the question, and I understand what he's talking about there, but I'm not sure that we understand what Ryan Grubb is trying to do with our running game. We aren't really grasping what he's doing, but I do think our offensive line is getting beat sometimes on certain things. But I think in this particular game, he had a game plan to attack South Carolina in ways that it didn't materialize, and therefore we didn't see the fruit of what he was trying to do. And I think you understand that. But I do agree we have some work to do on our offensive line. I don't think we're as physical or as quick as I thought we would be.
And I agree. I think there's a couple things. One is it's a good offensive line. It's not a great offensive line.
Right.
And I think our measurement of it is even impacted by how we judge great. And I think we judge great more by running the ball. Because if we just all of a sudden, if we have 2 or 3 games where we run for 150 yards, we're going to say this offensive line is great. And I don't know that changes it.
Right.
I think we're a 75-25 team. And I think that that at best, we need to look at the short passing game with Ty as a way this coaching staff has chosen to run the ball. That's what they're replacing the run game with now.
Yeah.
And that's just part of it. But I do, QD, think that we could be better. So not saying that. As far as being concerned about the Oklahoma and Auburn defensive lines, I don't know that they're any better than what we saw this weekend. South Carolina just doesn't have a great record. I think defensive line wise, they're one of the top defensive linemen. I think, ironically, I think we played 2 or 3 good defensive line. And here's the part I would say this before we get to the phone calls is think about how good our pass pro actually may be, DC. Yeah. We're still giving Ty decent time, even though nobody's worried about the run.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're actually excellent pass pro. I don't know that. I know that we just have some lapses sometimes. When we miss bad in the pass game.
But I think Grubb's philosophy in this South Carolina game, Martin, I think you saw it as well. Being a running back, you knew what was going on. The South Carolina defensive line was very physical and very fast. They had some edge rushers that I don't know that we'll see any better edge rushers the rest of the season. And the way you combat that is 2 ways. And one is to play in a phone booth. And that's how you started out. Real short box sets, close in, and run into that line, try to be physical. But what he was doing, I think, was setting up the passes. And if you look back, Ty was not on. He missed a couple of passes that would have been touchdown passes that everybody saw. And that was what caused that opening on the passing game by using the running game that way. The other way you combat that type of physicality and quickness is to use spread end around type stuff. And that's the ones that opened the game up later in the fourth quarter where our running game got better when we began to use misdirection and end arounds, and that just shows you he knew what he was doing in the running game and what he was trying to create. And I think sometimes we think he's trying to run the ball when he's trying to run the ball to pass the ball, and that's what this offense does. And I think we discount the running game too much.
Yeah, and like I said, we've had about 3 games where we had to run the ball in the fourth quarter, and we've done it every time. So, William from Pennsylvania, you're in on the Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Martin. Good morning, DC. I actually look at this coaching carousel as actually a good thing, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I think for years the boosters have had almost no say at these big schools. And I know a bunch of Penn State boosters living up in Pennsylvania, and they have been disgusted and mad for decades about how Penn State's gone about their business. And now with NIL, the boosters are the ones that are supporting the programs, and they have a lot of say. So they're sick of the coach. That coach is gone in the middle of the season. They're not going to wait till the end of the season. So I think for a booster, this is actually like with the players. This is their boon time. This is when they actually have a say in the program. Now, the bad side of that is they make a guy like Jerry Jones look like he's mainstream insane, which he's not.
Yeah. Well, here's my thoughts, William. There's not any good programs out there that have been ran by the boosters. We have one in this state. Alabama was dominant when Bear was here because Bear was in control. Alabama won a national championship in the 90s because Gene Stallings was here and he was in control. And Alabama won under Saban because he was in control. When boosters get involved, it's way too many opinions, and there's way too many leaders and way too many people making decisions. It is going to destroy those programs. The boosters may feel great about it, DC, but it's going to destroy their programs.
I agree that you don't have to look very far from another school in the state to do that, to see that.
Yeah, and I
totally agree, but there's only one Alabama, and I don't think it's going to occur in Alabama. But it's almost fun to watch these other programs crumble because of the boosters.
Well, it happened at Alabama. We had a 30-year window where we won 1 championship, and we had 4 coaches named Mike. And they got rid of, and the boosters and the influencers got rid of Coach Stallings because he won ugly. Not because he didn't win. He won ugly.
Because it wasn't flashy.
It wasn't flashy, and Spurrier was flashy. And Alabama fans wanted that, and it led from that till we got Saban. So it can happen anywhere, and it's just not a good – it's just you're right. It's going to ruin their programs, Williams, and they're going to find out – the boosters going to find out that they need to run their businesses and not football programs. Thanks, William. All right. Alan, you're in. Alan, we're up here trying to get you some business, man. What's up?
Man, I got, just speaking of that, I got 2 trucks this weekend, and I called Lane down there. He told me, hold on. We was on our way to Florida. He said, hold, pump your brakes. He said, LSU may be calling also. So you're just going to see where I got to go.
Alan, he might just drive straight on through Baton Rouge into Austin.
Oh, that's true. And I'm gonna tell you somebody else. Unfortunately, I got a phone call from up there. I got a phone call. Mr. Shade they didn't like Mr. Shade this weekend either there at the Classic. So they asked me would I move him. I said no, that's my partner, my homeboy. I can't move Sam. Sam gonna stay where he is for a little while. So Sam had a hard time this weekend.
Alan, I teased my audience yesterday. And so since you're Alabama, the Alabama folks about to have a heart attack. You know what's going to happen? You know what's about to happen?
What?
Nick Saban is coming out of retirement.
Oh, wow.
Go to LSU.
Okay.
And he's going to take Alex Mortensen from UAB, who was his analyst for years, to be his offensive coordinator, to be the coach in waiting.
Wow.
Alan, Coach Saban said he has one regret.
What was that?
He literally said biggest mistake he made was leaving LSU.
Oh yeah, I saw him say that. Yeah, I did see him say that. I don't think he's going back. But my two questions is this, Martin, before I let y'all go.
Go ahead.
You think Grubb will be up for one of these jobs that's out there right now?
I
don't think so.
I do. I think Stanford's going to call him. I think that Colorado State's going to call him. Now, whether he get him, I think he's going to go back to the West Coast. I think UCLA is going to call him. Now, whether he takes those jobs, I don't know. But I definitely think he's going to be a candidate for multiple jobs. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's a candidate for one of these in the South, but I don't think he would take them.
My other question is this. When y'all talking about the boosters running the program, we got one on the Plains called Auburn, where Yellowwood's running that one. They've run it for years, and you see what's happening to them.
Well, they had
coach after coach after coach after coach now.
They had Colonial Bank before that, the Louders.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, I remember that.
But
and now you got Yellowwood running it. Mm.
Yeah. So anyway, that's awesome. DC, I'll let you. Thanks, Alan. We'll let you know where you need to park your trucks next week. Go ahead and respond to that about Grubb as a candidate, because I think Alabama could be one of three places: looking for two coordinators, looking for one, or they both decide to run it back.
Well, I just think Grubb. The only way I see him going to another place, and I could be wrong, is if we win the national championship this year. I think he might go to somewhere else. I don't. I think that he had such a bad experience in the NFL that coming home to be with the board, he needs a little more time. I think in this position before he gets a head coaching job somewhere else. I just think that on his record is going to keep him from some of these bigger jobs until he does something better here.
I think if he takes a first-year starter, DC, and runs the Heisman, and you see what he's able to do with Ty Simpson at the line of scrimmage, even though it's not all him, some of that is Ty and his dad and Ty's commitment. Other teams, college football, and is just a copycat league.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so he will be. If Alabama wins out, he'll be a hot commodity.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
DC on the West Coast. I don't see like LSU or Florida, necessarily going after him. But I could see some. I think there's going to be some more West Coast jobs come open with the way things are going right now.
Very true. Very true. And it could be a West Coast draw that gets him into that, but I don't see him as a candidate to one of these high-profile SEC jobs.
Yeah, and I think that may be a fit thing more than a qualification thing. So let's go ahead and get to Philip. Philip, you're in on the Empowerment Leadership and People Solutions Hotline with Martin and DC. What's on your mind?
Hey, a few things, Martin. I hope y'all guys are good. On Talty's possible kick at the end of the game the other day, I'll stick up for that guy. He's 100% from about 40 yards on in, so he's pretty reliable there. It's just whenever we place the ball outside the 32-yard line for a field goal, that's probably out of his range. But if we put the ball down on 31 or 32, he's probably going to make it. So
it's not out of his range. Is he can't handle the pressure of a long kick because he kicks that distance all the time.
Mm-hmm. So that's true. I mean, but the other things that can happen on something like that, people just say, "Oh, he's not reliable. He's not reliable." That's not true. He can get a bad snap. He can kick the center and the rear end, and he can hit the goal post on a kick. So those things can happen too. And some of those are, a bad snap would not be his fault. So there's a lot that goes into play right there. There's pressure on a lot of guys. Just think about the pressure the darn holders feeling right there at that point. So I'm glad Jeremy walks into the end zone. And my take on the South Carolina player is I think that was something that was discussed with the South Carolina coaches and the team, just sort of on a haphazard type strategy, for letting us score. I think that was discussed minutes before all that happened. And then I think Beamer forgot to tell his guys, hey, look, guys, I know earlier I talked about letting them score. We ain't doing that crap anymore. I want you to go for the ball and do something. And, I think the coaching staff forgot to tell the players, hey, what we talked about a few minutes ago, that's off the table now.
You think because of the amount of time that was left?
Yeah, I just think it was something that they mentioned several minutes before Alabama got down to that play. And they forgot I think the coaching staff on South Carolina just simply forgot to tell their team, look, that strategy about letting them score, screw that crap. We're going to go for the ball. And because that guy that raised his arms up, that I just looked at the film, time and time again, and he's a pretty tall, rangy guy. And if you examine that film, he was within an easy reach of trying to get to the footballs, at least knock it out Bernard's hand. He was not like he was 12 yards away. He was right there with him. So, I think their coaching staff screwed up, in my opinion. And Brian Kelly, I thought he was in his late 50s, and I was thinking that we might see him again. I kind of don't now. I think he's 64 years old. I mean, that's not the end of the world, but I kind of think that may be his last gig.
Yeah. Thanks, Phil. DC, you can respond to both of those.
Well, I think that it might be his last gig because if I got that much money, I'm not sure if I want to do anything after 64. Number one, and number two, I think it's clear that the coaching staff had told the South Carolina players not to tackle Alabama and let them score, so they have more time to get the ball back. And now, whether or not they did it in timeout immediately preceding or early in the thing, it doesn't matter. You can see from the film clearly that this player, his instinct was to tackle him, and he jerked his hands back when he realized the coaches told me not to tackle him. And so it's not a player move. It's not an Alabama getting preferential treatment move. It's a coaching move. And I think some of them owned up to it after the game that they had told the players not to tackle him.
Yeah, DC, what's your kind of closing thoughts on where Alabama sits this week?
Well, I think Alabama's in a great place. I mean, we got a great opportunity for some rest. Then get a LSU team in here that's going to have an interim coach. They're going to play hard for their interim coach, but we have a reason to keep playing hard ourselves. I think this culture, this team, allows us to play hard against LSU and do well.
Yeah, DC.
One thing we haven't talked about, Martin, which I think we ought to talk about for just 1 second here. Our punter had the best game, most punts he's had in any game, and he was 55-yard average, 5 punts for 55 yards. That was a big thing in field position, and I think that's going to help us going forward in some of these closer and tighter games.
Yeah, DC, and that's what's going to happen when this team finally plays a complete game. Who knows? DC, one of the things that they talked about, give your closing thoughts on people saying that this team is not aggressive between the 20s. And I think some of that has to do with the fact that everybody's playing us playing us for the pass. And so the deep ball's not going to be there right now until we get a run game. Your thoughts?
I agree 100%. I think Ryan Grubb's philosophy is that he sets up the pass for some deep balls, but we don't have really a running game that keeps everybody in the box, keeps safety in the box.
Yeah.
But we had an opportunity to hit a couple of deep balls this last game. They were there because of the way South Carolina plays. We just were off on those. We hit those 2 plays, and the game is not even close. So I think when we play our best game, we'll see it all hitting all cylinders. We won't realize how great we are until that time.
Tell the listeners where they can find you, DC.
Well, you can find us at DCCapstoneReport.com, DC Capstone Report Facebook page. You can follow me on Twitter at DavidCott50. You can hear our podcast on Spotify and YouTube. We'll have the podcast up today, and looking forward to another great bye week here. Get some rest and get ready to play LSU in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Hey, that's DC Capstone Report. I'm Martin Houston. That's Chase Brumfield. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, viewers, and the maniacs for being a part of the program. Couldn't get all of the comments in, couldn't get all the calls in. But, hey, we'll do it again tomorrow. We'll run it back tomorrow. So if you have something that you wanted to talk about today, bring it back up tomorrow. We'll run it back right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide, everybody.
Celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.